Mental hunger. It can be a good thing or a bad thing, depending upon what you're hungry for and the way you use it and how you activate it. First of all, I'm cutting it pretty close in my weekly video. Cutting it pretty freaking close. Saturday, filming it Saturday, uploading it Saturday, but I just got off of vacation. And that's relevant to what I'm talking about because it's part of this hunger. There's something I've always said, and it's you can't miss something you've never had. I'm pretty sure you could. There might be a scenario where you possibly could, but for the most part, if you never experienced something, you're not going to miss it. You've never developed a taste for it. Now, I'm fortunate that I've never done any type of drugs or no alcohol or no cigarettes or nothing like that. But it's not a temptation for me to be around that stuff because I've never tried it. So I don't have that hunger. And that is one way that negative hunger can really get you. Addiction is a powerful thing. It is a powerful thing, and if you could become a slave to it. Sex is pretty much my vice, and I have been learning how to control that hunger inside of me because I have experienced it, and it's almost like the more I experience it, the more I want. But let's talk about the good and the bad. Going back to the vacations. I'm 40, and before I turned 40, I wanted to do at least 6 vacations from the time during the year that I'm 40. In other words, June 14th, 2024 to June 13th of this year. And I've done that. Not only have I done 6, I've done 8. In fact, I had, starting from my birthday, I had 6 months in a row where I had a vacation every single month. And, I spent like $20,000 in total on my vacations. But maybe a little bit more with this last one that I just did. But here's the thing. I went into this thing knowing that I was doing this just for my 40th birthday. But when you get a taste of having a vacation every single month, already in my mind, I'm going through, it hasn't even happened yet, but I'm going through withdrawals of not having that. And I even got to the point on when I was, at the beach. I went to Tampa, and then I spent 3 days in Tampa with my cousins, and then I went from Tampa to Myrtle Beach. And then I spent 5 days there. And I just got back to North Carolina yesterday. But now I even had this thought where I was like, ugh, I just wish my life could be this. You know what I mean? And then it's like, okay, what would I have to do? How much money would I need? And what would I need to accomplish to get it for my life to simply do this? And I've given myself a taste of a lifestyle that I didn't intend to maintain. I did it because I just wanted to do something special for my 40th year. But now going forward, as I get older, I'm not going to want a vacation less. I'm going to want a vacation more. And I feel it. And that is one thing about hunger. And the thing is, I know I'm not going to go into debt to do it because I can't maintain it, and I know that. I think far enough to know that, going into debt to do vacations, I can't do that. I prepared for my vacations. I've been saving the last couple of years, putting money to the side to be able to do this on my 40th year. And now that I've done it, I want to keep doing it. And that's just being real. And different avenues for me to generate more money. Of course, I save and invest, obviously. But going above and beyond that so I can maintain that lifestyle of just going to where I want. Like, June, I went to Virginia Beach. July, I spent 4th of July week in Myrtle Beach. August, I went to Universal Studios, Orlando, Florida, the Florida meetup. Great event. September, I went to Las Vegas. And I acted a complete fool there. October, I went to the Dominican Republic, Punta Cana, which was my second time going there, and I love it. In November, I went on a cruise. December, I went to Tampa. December, really, it was at the very end of December for New Year's, I went to Tampa. And then this past week, I went back to Tampa and then to Myrtle Beach. That's 8 vacations I've had since being 40. And that has driven me to want to do more. And it's the same thing with you. Anything that you unlock, any of the experience that you have, you will develop a taste for it. And even staying at nicer places, because I stayed at a joint in Myrtle Beach, Polynesian, and now that I've had some taste of some more upper crust resorts and hotels, it just didn't hit the same. Like, it's almost like I became a little too snobby for it, a little too, like, I was turning my nose up at it. And it's a place, it's like my comfort place. I still enjoyed myself, don't get me wrong, but I had a little I had a little bougie. I was being straight bougie about it. But I think long term, this is going to drive me to do what I need to do to create the life I want to live. And even though I'm 40, I'm single with no kids, and I have more time and available energy to do what I need to do. I just got out of the shower. That's why you see. That's why my hair acting funny. But you don't think I'm sweating? It is hot. I ain't gonna lie, it is hot, but I'm not sweating. I'm just still got that shower drip on me. But anyway, if there's something that you want, if there's new experiences, I've heard many people that I listen to say this, but new experiences will unlock new milestones and create new desires, and it definitely will. But now, just going back to the bad stuff. And this is kind of like a warning to you younger cats, and a lesson to your younger cats also about the vacations. You know, the more you experience, the more you want to experience. But it works in a negative way too. Drugs, alcohol, cigarettes. I've watched my little brothers go through all this, and it's just reaffirmed the fact that I never want to try it. Having sex, which is something that's usually not even people just is socially acceptable, but promiscuity is bad for society as a whole. And there's been several creators that's made videos, thoroughly explaining why that is. But the way I responded to sex lets me know that I don't want to try drugs ever. I never want to smoke a cigarette, and I think maybe one day I'll drink alcohol, but I don't see that day anytime soon. I don't want to risk being addicted to it, because even sex has made me borderline a madman in a controlled way. I ain't out here taking pussy, but I ain't out here taking it. But like, I've been a hoe and I've been a trick, and if you know, you know. But if there's something that, like, let me put it this way, nobody can tell me that crack ain't good. Like, there's nobody who can convince me that crack isn't good, because we got freaking celebrities out here dying from crack. We got beautiful girls out here doing crazy stuff to dicks for a hit of crack. I got some stories that I have seen. And I don't really want to expose myself too much, but I've got some stories that I've seen where I was just like, crack must be good. Crack must be good, what people are doing for it. But crack destroys lives. As far as other drugs, heroin too, there's a heroin epidemic and everything, fentanyl and all this kind of stuff. But if you never try that stuff, you're not going to be hooked to it. Plain and simple. And they say that weed is a gateway drug. I don't know, because I know people who've went their entire lives of, you know, smoking weed, we're talking about 40 plus years. I know people in their 60s and 70s who have smoked weed and have never done another drug, at least by their own account. But if you don't develop a taste for a chemical high, it can't expound. So, to sum this up, on the positive note, hunger can be a good thing if channeled correctly. Things that you want to experience, like they say, you know, go out and look at your dream car. Test drive your dream car if you can. Look through that house, the neighborhoods that you want to see. Save up and spend it, you know, even if you spend one night at a very fancy hotel, it will unlock something that will make you want more. And I am a testament that it will. But at the same time, if you create a taste for something that ain't good, you will starve for it. And that's pretty much all I gotta say. Until the next video.